Live and recording. Okay. Hello, everyone. I'm Maury Hanigan. I am CEO of SparcStart, and I'm delighted that you're joining us today for this conversation with three pretty amazing people in the talent acquisition and employment brand recruitment marketing space. All three of them did an amazing job at generating votes for their videos for the TA Week contest. And they're all bringing a different kind of expertise to the idea of getting videos seen. We say all the time that we see a lot of people who spend a lot of time and energy getting videos made, and then they think the task is done and they stop. And we say, no, you really haven't had an impact until you've got your video seen. So that's really, videos need to be made. They need to be made well. They need good content. But even if all those things are true, until they're seen, they really haven't done you any good. So we're going to talk to three different folks who have different approaches and different ways of getting their videos seen. And I'd like to introduce all of them. I'll start, at least I'll go around in how I'm seeing people on the screen. Start with Gabriela Medvick. She is the digital attraction specialist at Domino's Pizza. She's got 5 years in the industry, and she's been with Domino's for a year. So welcome, Gabriela. Nice to have you with us.
Hi, thank you. Happy to be here.
Good. We've also got Jena Patrick. She's the recruitment marketing specialist with Growmark, an ag retail cooperative, and she's located in Bloomington, Illinois. Welcome, Jena.
Hi there. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. And last but not least, by any matter of means, the woman who actually generated the most votes in the contest is Jen Vio. She's the leading employer brand in digital recruitment programs. She is leading the employer branding and digital recruitment programs at one of the nation's largest cancer treatment and research systems, City of Hope. So welcome.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
We're glad to have you all here and just interested to hear about what you're doing. So what I want to start with is let's just talk about why you're producing video and what issues you're looking to solve. We're big believers that lots of people go out there and they create employee testimonials and they put them out there. And we're asking why was the message? How are you hoping to move the needle? Why are you doing video? So let me open it up, and maybe, Jen, maybe if you want to take this first.
Sure.
Why are you doing video? What are the challenges you have? What are the issues? What are you trying to accomplish with video?
Yeah, so I think with video, especially for City of Hope, we're widely known in our demographic area, right? But now that we've acquired Cancer Treatment Centers of America, and now are nationwide, we have the problem of not being known nationwide. We're kind of that like sleeping giant, if you'll say, of all these medical kind of phenomenons of creating the first synthetic form of insulin or CAR T-cell therapy. We were one of the first to do that in cancer treatments, but people don't really know of City of Hope. And so video is a great way for us to be able to get our name out there, our accomplishments, what we're doing, and really attract top talent, whether it be clinical staff or researchers to our organization. We can reach a wider net utilizing video than we can any other medium.
Great. And let me go to Domino's. I don't think you have the issue that nobody knows who you are.
Not quite.
So why are you using video?
Domino's, similar to Jen, we do use it for brand awareness because people do know Domino's, but they know Domino's for the pizza we bring to your house. But there is a whole corporate office based in Ann Arbor, Michigan that makes that happen, and a whole system of 31 North American supply chain centers that make that happen. So when we say now hiring, people instantly think, oh, we're hiring at one of our stores. But the reality is a lot of the time we're hiring at our centers or at the WRC. So that is one of the main reasons we use it, is for that brand awareness, to open it up to get people to realize that we're more than just pizza delivery, that we're this whole system, but also for accessibility. So it helps us attract the right candidates while attracting people who might not be the right fit. Domino's has a huge culture and our values mean a ton. So if that's not the right fit for you, it helps to know that our culture matters so much. And also our jobs have all these different moving pieces. And especially on the supply chain side, competing against people like Amazon and FedEx, what you do in an Amazon warehouse is completely different than what you do in a FedEx warehouse, which is completely different than what you'll do in a Domino's warehouse, but they're all going to be listed as warehouse associate. So a video really shows candidates, oh, this is what they do at Domino's on top of our culture. And it's so much more accessible than paragraphs and paragraphs of text. And people just spend such a short amount of time on applications anymore. So to have a 2-minute snapshot of this is what your role will be really helps with our engagement and solves a lot of those application bottlenecks that we see of people having questions on what the role is and what it entails.
It amazes me the number of people who are rewriting their job descriptions, thinking that that's going to solve something. Guys, okay, nobody's reading them. You can, even if they're really well written, it's a please give up. Yeah, I love the idea that video it can not only show, but it can tell and give you a sense and a feel and all of that. And Jena, let's go to you. You're in a very different situation. You're not selling to the public. Most people probably have heard the name, but probably couldn't say what you do. Oh yeah, those guys. I've heard of them, I think. So why are you using video and how's it work for you?
So honestly, very similar to what Jen and Gabriela said. It's very much, we are an ag retail cooperative. So a lot of people are confused about who we are, what we do. And I feel like it's used to help us. Brand awareness is one of the biggest things. And then also, obviously, video is the fastest growing form of communication out there on every social platform you can think of. So when you have a brand that's not super familiar, it's hopeful that out on all those social platforms that it'll make it so that you are getting more out there. So it's just one of those things where our communication team is just constantly trying to get ahead of the game and stay ahead of everything that's happening out there.
That's good.
So very similar to their responses.
And I think it's interesting. The three of you couldn't be in three more different businesses, right? And we didn't figure that out, or didn't plan it that way. But really, your audiences are so different, your messages are so different, and yet video is a common theme of how you're communicating. And you guys have figured out that that's just more effective than doing anything else. And I love the fact that there are very specific objectives that you guys have to do that. So let me go back and ask you, how do you get your videos seen? What's the best way to get them in front of your target audience? I see so many organizations, they'll create a 2-minute hero video, they'll put it on their website and they'll think they're done. And the research says that the videos on corporate websites are just, they don't get viewed. So that's not nearly in the kind of numbers that you want. So what are you guys doing to get your videos in front of, not only in front of people, but in front of the right people? Gabriela, do you want to start with that one?
Yeah, so for...
Whoops, you just muted yourself. Sorry, Gabriela, hang on.
Across multiple platforms.
We just lost Gabriela.
Where did I go?
There you go.
Am I back?
Sorry. There you go. We lost you for a minute. Sorry.
So strange. But we distribute our videos over multiple platforms, and each of those platforms serves a different purpose and a different audience. So LinkedIn, our videos there are really focused on our corporate culture and our celebrations, those types of things. And they're goldmine on LinkedIn because LinkedIn especially, just paragraphs and paragraphs of text from all of these people. So those videos really break it up and help our application flow for our office jobs and things like that. And then Indeed and our CRM, we can attach our videos right to our job applications. So that's where you see our videos that have to do specifically with our roles. And that is a great way to get them seen. And we see a lot of engagement on our applications and a lot of views on those videos because they're just right there for the candidate. They don't have to hunt them down. They click open warehouse associate, production associate, delivery driver. And right there's a video that talks about the role and the culture within the store, within the center. And then, of course, YouTube and social media, that's where you're going to see the productions, things like that. Domino's has a unique situation where 20% of our advertising is employer brand, and the other 80 is consumer brand. So our social media channels is where you're going to see the commercials and things like that, our new products. But on LinkedIn, we'll post videos about our new products, but it'll be about the team that made that product. So it's about knowing where the video should be for what audience you want to cater to and for who you're trying to attract. So that's how we distribute our videos and get the views on our videos.
Wow, I'm amazed that you. Whoops, we're getting some feedback on someone. Can I ask someone to mute your mic? There we go. We'll stop. We'll do that. We'll stop the feedback. But Gabriela, I'm amazed that you've allocated so much of your paid advertising to employer brand. It makes perfect sense, and it's wonderful to see that. But I think it's rare that companies understand. I mean, maybe having gone through the pandemic and understanding that if you haven't got employees, you just don't ever make your sales goals, right? Nobody makes their revenue goals if they don't have the people to deliver. That it's great to finally see the funding come in and do that. That's very cool. Tell you what, Jen, do we want to go back to you?
Sure. Yeah. So we do a lot of the same, similar things that Gabriela does at Domino's. One of the other avenues that we utilize that works really well for us is we utilize videos on our Brazen virtual event platform. So since kind of this world of COVID and everybody's become more accustomed to doing things online, people now want to join events and go to hiring events online. It's more convenient. Especially if someone's working, they can join easier, right, on the go. And videos kind of allowed us to be that first touch point of someone before they talk to a recruiter, before they get, even before they register for the event. They're seeing a video about the position or from the hiring manager about why they would want to come work in that specific role within City of Hope. So video really has been a great introduction for us for our virtual hiring events, and has really driven engagement quite significantly for us.
It's great. We say all the time that when somebody sees a video, they start to feel like they know somebody at the company, that it's not the same if you see a static picture and read something. But when you see someone talking to you, it gives you a sense that, oh, if I ran into this person, like I've got some sense of them. That really works. So, yeah. What about for you? Do you use, I don't want to put it, but do you use video when you reach out to specific candidates? Are you using any direct, or are you using mostly social media as well to get your videos seen?
It's a good question. We honestly have to try a lot of different avenues. Am I,
You're fine.
Can you guys feedback? Okay. Because I can on my end, I don't know. So we have to try so many different avenues when it comes to distributing videos, just because of being in rural areas. Some of our locations, people aren't super into like social media, or they're the farmer generation is out in the farmers or in the tractors doing things. And so we have to try different things. So trying to get it out on socials, but also making sure we're doing all the different job boards and making sure we're doing stuff internally, because referrals are a huge deal for our industry. Cousins, brothers, sisters, aunts, uncles, all the people. So just making sure that internally we have communication, our platforms are like easily accessible, and that people can navigate it easily and all the things. So everything they said, we do focus on social channels, but that's more for our external brand. Whereas internally, we're really trying to make sure that we are getting out in front of people's children and going to schools and talking to local areas about our brand and making sure that students are aware of who we are and what we do. So we do have like a job shadow program where we make sure that we have videos out that we share out on campuses, letting them know that like you can come shadow for us. Being an ag retail, people think we're only agriculture, and that's like as far from it as it can be. Is we have so many different opportunities that aren't just ag focused. So a lot of our videos try and pull in all the different divisions, all the different areas that we have, and then we also like to focus on like the testimonial side, because they like to hear from the people. It's better than just a generic, here's what our company does. It's more of, what are the hands-on jobs that people are doing every day.
Cool. And have any of you connected your videos into any of the rest of your tech stack? Can you recruiters, Is there a place that they can go and grab a video if they want to send it directly to a candidate, or if they want to share it on their own social? How are you making your videos available internally just for, employee advocacy and that kind of sharing? How are you doing that?
We have like a Vimeo channel that everybody has access to and can go and grab our videos. And then I also have like a working doc that I send to people as we update.
Yeah, and I help with all of our CRM messaging. So there are certain messages that are already templated for our recruiters to grab that the video is already linked into, so that they can always have that ready as well. But we have the same thing, a channel where our videos are housed, so you can go and grab whatever one you need.
Yeah, same on with City of Hope as well.
Oh, I'm sorry, we're getting some weird echoing here. The green room, everything was great before we started. Now it's starting to go on. So let me ask each of you, have you got a specific example when video worked? You all seem very convinced that video is effective for you. It's working for you. I don't hear a lot of hesitation. And, well, we're trying this moving, talking picture thing, but we're not so sure. You all seem very convinced that video really is putting your message home. Can you give us a specific example of, is there a time, maybe we'll start with Jen, you're using it for your virtual career fairs. Is there a time when you know that a video actually made a difference in having people show up or understand a job? Or when did it work and how did you know it worked?
Sure. So anytime we notice that we use video rather than something static, whether it be on our social channels, through our CRM platforms, we just see an uptick in engagement, right? And an uptick in, if it is for our virtual hiring events, in the RSVPs, right? Because again, as the other panelists have mentioned, it's that personal connection, right? They're feeling a connection not only to the organization, to our mission, but as Gabriela said, you're kind of screening people in and out based on video. It's based on the personality types and based on, you can tell a lot more of the story than just words on a page. And you get a feel for, especially with City of Hope and being how unique we are. And, ultimately, we want to be put out of business. We want to cure cancer so that, we're not here in, say 100 years. We originally started as a tuberculosis sanitarium and, now have evolved into, a cancer treatment center, also treating HIV and diabetes. And we're hoping to find cures for all of those. So I think video is just much more engaging with our candidates. And again, we do see the ROI and the uptick in our events and even in the applications to all of our requisitions for our open positions.
And we've got a lot of data that really mirrors all of that. And Gabriela, how do you know that video is working for you?
I mean, similar to Jen, the LinkedIn, when we post them on LinkedIn, you just see the difference between a blog post or a post with a photo versus a post with a video. Your engagement is just completely different, off of the charts. So it's working there. And then with our applications, when we started adding the videos directly to our applications, there was an immediate uptick in our applications. They just started coming in faster, and you could tell it was from the video because the views on the video were going up, as well as the number of applications we were getting. And one area specifically for us is CDL Class A drivers. Domino's employs nearly 1,000 of them nationwide for our 31 distribution centers. And with a CDL driver, there's so many different aspects to it. So when you work for Domino's, it's touch freight, it's regional, you're home almost every night. But then there's these other companies where you're gone for a month at a time. You're doing over the road, or you're doing bump dock. So these videos really help show specifically what a CDLA driver does at Domino's. And we see it working at our in-person hiring events because we'll show the videos at our driver events before they go in for their interviews. And we've had people walk out and be like, I don't want to do touch freight. So like I said before, it's really attracting and detracting all at the same time. And it's helpful for us, saves us time and money, saves people time and money. And I think that works across the board in so many roles, especially since everything's become so generalized. So you make it to the top of the Indeed page. But like I said, what you're doing in production for us is completely different than what you're going to do for production for someone else. So those videos really help in like specifying that. And we've seen it work with CDL.
Helping candidates make a well-informed decision. Oops, Gabriel, can you mute? Because I think you're doing the. Sorry, we're getting you right. So helping candidates make well-informed decisions to opt in or opt out is really important. I know there's some people go, why would you ever want to discourage somebody from applying? If they're not interested, or qualified, or ready, you don't want them in your system. And in part, when you do that, I think you give a better candidate experience to the people who you do want to attract, that are appropriate, that are interested, and so forth. Because when you're dealing with huge volumes of folks, and many of whom may not be, appropriate applicants, it's hard for you to give the kind of attention to the people that you do want to hire. So it really does help when you can give people enough information so they can make a well-informed decision. So Jena, have you seen evidence of video working for you? Have you been able to measure it? Or again, why are you doing? What convinces you that it works?
Yeah. So, I mean, similar to what they said, LinkedIn campaigns for sure. You can always track those, or the trackable links when you have other posts and stuff out there. But I would say one specific example for us is we created an internship video because we wanted more and more students to be interested to come to our company. Like I said, they hear agriculture and they're like, well, I don't want to do that. And so students were struggling wanting to apply because they thought they had to be having a background in agriculture. So we got testimonials and took videos of actual interns and showed hands-on stuff that they do in the office, out in the fields, all the things. And it did help. We had several students last year say, like, I saw your guys' video out there. And that's honestly why I applied. And so it was like, okay, it is working. So not only does the metrics show it, but we actually have verbal confirmation from students as well that it does work.
I think that's hard, particularly when something's on social media, trying to track that all the way through to an applicant, or tracking it all the way through the process. And sometimes those anecdotal are the best evidence you have. Someone who showed up, we had a client once where a person showed up and said, I had no idea you had this kind of position available, but I watched the video because I was curious, and here I am, I'm applying for it. So it really, yeah. The quantitative is important, and you want to run a well-structured program with good quantitative data. But sometimes, and I think particularly for hiring managers, if somebody's seen the hiring manager and then on a video, and then they meet them in person, they can sometimes get a little starstruck. Oh, that's the guy from the video. Wow. And the hiring managers love it. The ego piece of, oh, wow, they recognize me. Oh, this is pretty cool. But that can be really a real positive reinforcement to your hiring managers when a candidate comes in having seen them. It also calms the candidates down if they've seen somebody and they're prepared for an interview, because they have a little idea of what they're going to go into. Okay, I want to just sort of wrap it up maybe with a question that if you had no barriers and no constraints, and you could use video exactly the way you wanted to, like, what's your dream of how video would work in your whole employer brand and TA system? What would it look like for you guys if you could just snap your fingers and have video do all the things you wanted to do? You could have the content you wanted. What would that look like? What's a dream state?
I mean, for our end, if we could get utilization increased within our organization, I think you have kind of those heavy users, right? Those superstars who are always going to embrace video, but it's really getting those who might be camera shy or don't like to hear themselves, and making it easy, right? Letting them know, literally you just click a button, record. I think that's what's so great about all of these new video platforms that are out there, is the easeability. And, I'm kind of jealous at Gabriela's that they've implemented it on their job descriptions and in their applications, because that's something we're in the process of doing now. Our ATS isn't super sophisticated to integrate it, so we're kind of looking for overlays to make that happen. but we're really excited for that opportunity. And that's something that, you know, for healthcare is just really different. A lot of people are utilizing video within the healthcare space, within their application process. So I think that's new and different. And, you know, I think as utilization will increase as people see the value of it, right? And the value of the quality of candidates it will bring.
Jena, what's dream state for you?
It's a hard question. I feel like we would honestly create more videos if there was no restraints. I feel like that's one of the hardest things. It is expensive. It's hard to narrow down what you want to focus on, what questions you should ask to get all the right answers, you know, to really get your point across, your mission across, your vision across, all the things. So I feel like that would be our biggest thing. A huge part of our company is person-to-person interaction. It's building that in-person relationship. So I think just being able to create more videos that have that personable interaction and being able to update them super regularly so you're up to date with things, like that would be what we hope for, which hopefully with video becoming bigger and bigger and bigger, these things will become easier to do. But yeah, for us, that's what we would hope for.
And the platforms have come a long way, you know, to make this easy. You know, in the old days, you had to used to stop and download an app, and somebody had to configure the app and then record a video. That's not necessary anymore, you know. And when you take those barriers away from people and you let them just, you know, click a button that says launch your camera and record it, it really does help. And I think because it's less of a big deal, your employees get less nervous. They're more likely to come across genuine. You know, if you make it really easy for them, it becomes sort of like writing an email or you know, we all record videos to friends every once in a while, right? And you don't think about it and you don't get nervous about it. You just go, hey, you know, I'm at this tag sale. It's this great thing. And you want your employees to do that because that's when you get some of the warmth and the humanity that comes through. So Gabriela, what's dream state for you?
Same, just more videos that just show so much more of Domino's. If we could just, I would love to have it so that every position and every supply chain center and every store had their own database of this is the role, these are our people, this is how it is. Just, I think that would open up the world of recruitment, but also just open up the world of Domino's. We say if you don't make it, bake it, or take it, you support it. So for example, next week I have to go to pizza prep. So I will spend the whole week not doing my regular recruitment marketing job and spend the week in the pizza kitchen in Ann Arbor, Michigan. And that's something every manager has to do. And there's no videos of that. And I think it's so cool to our culture that that's something that we support and shows our teams in the field that we care about what they do and we want to understand what they do. And so I'd love just have like videos that showcase that and more videos of what our field team does so that our corporate offices understand it on even a deeper level. Both internal and external, just more videos of everything would be the ideal state and ways for our team members just to easily do it themselves.
That's great. Can I come with you?
Come on down. It's great. It's at our pizza theater, so our whole team can look down and see everyone making pizza, and they can order it, and we have to deliver it to their desks. And then on the last day, we go and work in an actual physical store in Michigan, and have to take Friday night orders in a Michigan store. So it's very exciting.
Wow, I love that. I love that as a practice. Yes. I hope you do. Film it.
Oh, of course.
Okay. I'm going to ask you to mute one last time because I'm going to wrap this up. Thank you. We just don't have to mute. Unfortunately, we are out of time, and I'm like halfway through my questions. You guys had so much to offer, but this has been really wonderful. I love the fact that you're all focused on results, that none of you are doing this because it seems like the right thing to do. This is all business driven. You have a very clear purpose in mind here. You're using video to get to that purpose. You're watching the metrics and so forth, and understanding that video helps make your entire process more efficient. And that's really wonderful. So congratulations to all of you. I think all of you have done a really, really wonderful job, and you should all be really proud of the contributions that you're making. And I think this has been really helpful to everybody else who's been on this, to see how sort of commonplace and straightforward your video use has. It's not something like, oh, gee, I wish we could do videos, or compliance is strangling us. You found a way to make it work. And that's really impressive and really important to your organizations. So let me thank you all. I am going to wrap this right at 1:30 because I want to be respectful of the time, the folks that have joined us. So thank you all. Great to connect with all of you again. And good luck with all the rest of your videos. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Bye. Thank you.